Hey,
Hey,
wait, let me see.
give
Where
me
is my
a second.
video?
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
How are
How
you?
are you? I'm good, thank you.
I'm good too.
And you?
I'm very good.
I'm trying to put my phone properly because I'm charging it. Would it be problem? Yeah, it would be probably if I put it like this. Okay. Wait, let me try to set this.
Okay.
I
So
hope
you hear
this is
me
gonna
well
be
though,
alright.
right?
Yes, I hear you perfectly.
Perfect. So I'm also recording this. So you have it. And so then I'll send it to you
Yes.
afterwards.
Perfect. I just need to put my phone somehow so it stands. Is this alright? Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, I'm excited. I want to hear all about it. All
So
about my
I'm going
natal chart.
sorry?
I said I want to hear all about my natal chart. I'm excited.
Perfect. So I'm going to try and help you as much as possible. So I think you're going to love the things that I'm going to share with you. And I think they'll really, really help you out.
Amazing.
Okay. So, so to begin with, there's there's this Freudian theory, which is the id, ego, and superego. So
All
the
right.
superego is the rising, so how you are first impression. The ego is the true self, so how you are truly, and then the id is your instincts, how you are in situations that are volatile. So how you are in a relationship and when you're in conflict or when you're in a situation of vulnerability, how your energy reacts in that particular situation. And so it's interesting because if you look at your chart, so your rising, which is your first impression, so the projection of self, is in Scorpio. So it means that when people get to know you, when people first know about you, you don't really give, you're very introverted, you're shy, it's gonna be hard to understand your emotions, access your emotions, and people are gonna struggle to understand who you really are, who is Teresa. And so on top of it, you have Pluto, which is a very intense energy, and it is in the first house. And so having that planet means that it's going to create even more intensity when people first meet you, because you're going to want to find justice. You're going to have a very like sort of intense energy to the outside world, let's just say. And it's on the break point. It's on like the break line between Scorpio and Sagittarius, which means that it is forcing you, it is the lesson that's trying to teach you is to learn how to move from this intense, sort of introverted, sort of more subtle energy to the Sagittarius, which is a lighter energy. So to start becoming a little bit lighter when people first meet you.
Okay, so I'm in a verge of both of those signs, yeah?
Exactly.
As in ascendant sign, or?
Yeah, exactly. As the ascendant sign, which is the rising, the first impression, you are Scorpio, but it's like almost on the break line with
Very close.
Sagittarius.
Okay.
So it's almost as if it wants you to move to that sign, but it needs you to transition into that manifestation of a lighter energy.
Interesting. And Sagittarius is, as I know, more like happy, more like outgoing, more
exactly.
I don't know. Right.
Sagittarius is like the lightest sign. It's fun, outgoing, easygoing, social, just a lighter energy compared to the Scorpio. That's going to be really like when somebody first meets you, it's like, whoa, like I don't know who Teresa really is. I don't feel her emotions. You have it's a very intense first impression.
I would say it depends for me. So it depends on the person, what kind of other person gives me the energy. I can feel and I can see that I switch in between of those two signs.
Okay, so you do
Scorpio,
see the difference between
yeah,
the two
I do.
signs.
And I have a question. I'm sorry if I'm
Yeah.
interrupting you.
Oh, go ahead.
Is it connected, for example, your natal chart and all the signs that you get, if that makes sense, is it connected to your family? So my mother was Sagittarius,
Your mom's a
and like,
Sagittarius?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
she's Sagittarius.
So
So, and my dad is Virgo, and I'm Virgo, but like you said, my ascendant is like on a verge of Scorpio
your
and Sagittarius.
father's a
Maybe that's why.
Virgo and your
Yes.
mom's a Sagittarius. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
and the question?
Is it connected like in between a family? I've read somewhere, but I don't know if the information is true about your family being connected with the signs with you. So my sister is Sagittarius, for example,
Okay.
and I don't know. Is it like
Yeah,
connected? Do you
yeah, it could be the fact that maybe your mom chose a certain energy and you chose a
Mhm.
different energy in order to learn certain lessons and create that sort of dynamic.
Okay.
So it's actually, it
Okay.
happens quite a lot also in the relationships that you choose. So if you notice, the relationships that you've chosen prior are going to have a sequence that is very similar. So
Mhm.
it usually just means that you, the soul contract. So you might have contracted with your mom in regards to learning a certain lesson. You might have
Okay.
contracted with your father to learn a different lesson, and they might have.
Mhm.
Usually, you hold on to the energy that is going to most help you in this mission, in this incarnation.
Mhm.
So you
And
usually choose an energy that's familiar to you. So in past incarnations, you might have been a Virgo many times. And then in this incarnation, you've chosen a Virgo, could be for familiarity, but could also be just to help you in whatever your mission, your intention is in this incarnation.
okay,
So,
interesting.
for example, if you choose
So
to be
it's
a Leo, for example,
mhm.
you choose to be a Leo because maybe you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be constantly distracted by the outside world, and you need to
Mhm.
learn how to find that urge of not being constantly distracted by other things in the world, by the physical world, by the materialism. And so maybe the
Mhm.
Leo, that strong energy, is trying to teach you that certain lesson, and so you decide to incarnate as a Leo, for example.
Interesting. Very interesting. I
And
understand. So
so,
it's not directly connected. It depends on your incarnation in this life,
yeah,
but it can be connected depending on whatever soul chooses, right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so, in the
Okay.
case of yours, as I mentioned, your ego is your Virgo. So the
Mm-hmm.
Virgo is pretty close to the Scorpio energy. It's going to be still a subtle energy. It's going to be very picky with the details. It's an earth sign, so
Mm-hmm.
it's grounded, it's sacrificial. So, like in relationships, I mean, if you think of a Virgo, I think of like Bernie Sanders, who wants to like sacrifice and wants to find justice in the world and fights for the justice in the world. Um, and so
Very
it's
much.
it's a beautiful energy. The only thing is that when you drop into your id, which is the moon, which is how you are in vulnerable situations, how you are when you're fighting with your boyfriend, for example, you drop into your Leo.
Which is
And
very dramatic.
the Leo is like explosion. You're like the Leoness. It's like if it loves to be adored, it loves to get its way, it loves to be just everything about you, and you might not even notice it, but you might explode if you don't get what you want, or if you don't feel adored, or if you don't feel. It's a very strong energy, let's just say. And so people don't notice it when they first meet you. So it's very important to understand the low vibration and the high vibration of each sign, which just means The low vibration of a Leo, for example, is going to be, as I mentioned, selfish. It's going to be a lot about self. Like, it's not going to really think of the other partner. And so in order to be, you have to learn how to be the high vibrational version of the Leo, which is like, the Leo can be very generous, can be very loving, very compassionate. You just need to know how to up the scale and become that higher vibration of that strong Leo energy that you have.
Interesting.
Do you resonate
What
with
is
that?
Yes, very much. Very, very much. I can recognize low vibrational Teresa in Leo and high vibrational. It can happen both. Depends on a lot of things. And what is with other planets and signs? How are they positioned in my natal
So
chart?
the other planets. So taking these three energies, so you have actually your Leo in Venus, you have which is pretty much the same. Venus is the planet of emotions, so it means that you're going to want to emotionally be adored. You're going to, it's sort of like that same sort of moon energy, which is, you know, it's like you might not even notice it, but you might just be like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with you, I want you to love me, I want you to adore me. It's kind of, it can be a selfish sort of energy. And so when you are, and especially this is going to be triggered in relationships, because relationships are the main catalyst to understand yourself and to bring out these energies. And so in a relationship, especially, when somebody gets to know you, you're going to especially attract water signs because you have your Scorpio, in your first impression is Scorpio, which is a water sign. And so then you're going to, by default, attract water signs, especially. But if you do attract other signs, they're not going to really get to know that Leo moon until you get into a fight or I don't know, something goes wrong in the relationship. And then it's an explosion.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because I feel there is a balance between Virgo and Leo in me, I guess. I can feel it, that Virgo is very sacrificial, and I can feel it, that's my base, that's like my core.
Okay.
But then in the situations of like relationships and like very high tense very high tense like situations, or when very tense emotions occur, then I can be very explosive.
Okay.
Which is kind of fiery energy. I can feel that Leo as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a very weird combination. That's what I wanted to say, of like Virgo being very sacrificial and very like grounded and this and that, and then in the situation which kind of triggers me for some reason, it's complete opposite of myself, like something that I don't even recognize sometimes, because most of the time that's not me.
Yeah.
You know.
And so that's why I think it's also meant to be that it is bringing out some fire in you, but in order to manifest it in the proper way. So it wants you to have to be heard. It wants you to have a voice in the world, but it wants you to do it in a way that's, as I mentioned, the high vibrational version of that Leo, which is to be generous, to be loving, to be compassionate, to find also that balance of not going too extreme, not exploding with your emotions, but balancing your emotions. It gives also, I think, a little bit of more personality to you. It gives a little bit more of a stronger energy.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so that's what I find. Also, so your sun, which is the most dominant, the most important part of the planets, your sun is in the 10th house. And so the 10th house is its ambition, its purpose. So it's finding your reason of being in this world. That without that, you're never going to feel happy. You're never going to truly feel fulfilled in happiness. It is more of a chart of spiritual, different spiritual teachings. It is about traveling. It is about finding yourself more than relationships, more than family, more than energy and work. It is truly about traveling, getting into spiritual situations, and then truly learning about yourself, exploring about yourself, to then find out with that your purpose in this world.
It's very interesting. I can feel like that. I can say.
Yeah, because
Nice.
your moon, your Venus, so moon is your deepest, your subconscious is your moon. So your moon, your Venus, which is the things you love, and your Mars, which is the strength, the fighting. It's all in the ninth house, which is spirituality. It is higher learning. It is traveling. It's mostly based off of just exploring and discovering yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't want to be in a relationship. It just means that you don't need to be in a relationship. And it doesn't mean that you don't love your family. It just means that you don't need to be close to your family.
Yeah. That's so interesting when you hear those truths about yourself from your natal chart from completely.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah. Unknown person. Interesting.
And so that's practically why you're here. And eventually, as time goes by, you're going to be able to take all the different things that you're learning through your experience, and then you're going to be able to truly understand your purpose of what you want to do with all that you've learned. How do you want to help others? How do you want to be in service to the world with the gifts that you were given, which is through right now the self-discovering of what you're trying to understand of yourself.
Nice. Very nicely said. Nice.
So there's that. There's also benevolence in the second house, which is financial matters, which means you'll always find a way to find money, to be set financially. Like you'll always find your way. But there's also the Neptune, which just means it might blind you, which means you might spend it in ways that maybe you shouldn't have. So there's a luck of being able to always find like not worrying about financial matters. But then there's also that part where you might, spend it in ways that maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So there's
definitely.
that.
Most definitely. Spending speed.
Okay, good. And yeah, so are you in a relationship?
Not currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did it end badly or?
Let's say the situation is next that I still love that person and it means very much to me and I want it to be happy and fulfilled and everything, all the best. But it's just I don't, and I can see his heart and his soul that is very good, but I just don't feel with being with him at the moment because he's not fully healed. I don't know how to even express it. I don't know. With this version of him, I don't think it's our time to be together.
Okay.
Let's say that.
Okay, so okay, and what was his sign?
It didn't end up that badly. It was just a fight where we broke up over a fight.
The fight.
And decided that we need to be apart to like heal ourselves and figure it out what we really want and what we're gonna do. He's Pisces, so water sign.
Okay, so there you go. So you did end up attracting a water sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pisces is going to be extremely emotional. It's very strong sign in regards to feeling everything around them. So they're going to feel all the energies of the world. It would do well with you just because you're a Virgo. So you're going to be the mind and he'll be the heart. You'll be more sacrificial in the relationship. So I'm sure that you're the one that's going to sacrifice the most. He'll bring out more of the emotion, more of the passion, the love in a more emotional way. Let's just say he'll be more the heart. But the only problem is because the Pisces feel so much, they have so much energy of feeling everything around them, that they tend to the low vibrational Pisces can't handle these emotions, and so they get into drugs, or they get into alcohol, or they get into dysfunctional relationships because it's so much, you know?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you may be far more grounded in that way. And so, you know, even in regards to traumas, if a Pisces goes through a struggle in a childhood that's very, very tough, it'll be harder for them to move on from it, compared to, for example, that you have your moon in Leo, and so it's going to just be easier for you to let go, compared to a water sign that's just going to continue holding on to the past.
Okay, I understand.
And so it takes a lot of, you know, self-development, and it takes a lot of just, he needs to also be at a level of consciousness where he wants to do that work of self-development and awareness of himself more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I had a tough period, but for now I feel this is the best for both of us, just to be separated and work on each other, as like work on ourselves, right? So I really hope he's doing that.
okay.
Although, like you said, it takes a longer time for them, so I guess it's gonna take longer. Then I feel like I've improved a lot in the past few months of like working on myself, etc.
That's good. And you feel relaxed, and
Yeah,
are you
very
doing
much.
any spiritual things? Are you meditating?
Yes, all of it. I wasn't really into meditation and yoga and all these things. I kind of I don't know, took it with a little bit of skepticism, because I've tried to meditate before and it just didn't work for me. And then I had tower moments where I was completely devastated and down and suicidal, this and that. And I had no other option than to try it again, and to try and meditate and do it again, do it again, and do it again. And then after enough times of trying, it actually helped. And now it calms me down, and I put it into my morning routine. So every morning before I took my phone is like yoga, stretchings. I still probably don't do it properly, but I feel better, definitely. And I feel it's doing something to my spirit and my soul that is really healing me and helping. So yeah, yoga, meditation every day in the morning for half an hour, and then continue with my day. And I feel definitely more relaxed and in balance with let's say putting that into my routine.
Okay.
Because I still need to have routine to like feel balanced as a Virgo.
Oh, that's true. That's also true. Yeah.
It's like it needs to be scheduled.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, the Virgo energy wants things to be in place, let's just say. Needs to be very precise
Yes,
with the
exactly.
schedule as well.
Yes.
With the details of life. Oh my God. It's actually also defined as the it's like the baby Capricorn. So like the Capricorn,
Baby Capricorn.
baby Capricorn, yeah. Because the Capricorn is like very serious and very like very practical. And so the Virgo is seen as like the almost like the feminine version of the Capricorn. So a little bit lighter, more of like the virgin of the sign. It's defined as the virgin of the sign because a little bit more innocent to it. There's a little bit more elegance, of a little bit more a lighter sign compared to the Capricorn, which is like really serious.
I didn't know. That's very interesting. And my ex-boyfriend now, his rising sign is Capricorn. So I guess
Okay.
in that point we're very similar too.
Yeah. So,
Interesting
but what was his sun sign?
points. So Pisces and rising sign is Capricorn, and moon
Okay.
sign Virgo.
Okay. So there you go. So that's actually, there's a lot of similar energies that you guys have attracted, because the rising, which is your Scorpio, would go with his
Mm-hmm.
Pisces, and then your sun, which is Virgo, would go with his rising Capricorn, and then your moon, which is in Leo, which would be the one that's very different from his
Yeah.
energy. And maybe that's also a reason why there might have been more conflict than there should have been, also because you had so much more fire than him.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not easy. You also have to take in consideration, I love this conversation about the age of the soul, which is how old is his soul compared to yours. And I think it's extremely important to have that be at a similar level. So it just has to do with how many lessons you've learned through the different incarnations compared to him. You learn more lessons than him. And so a younger soul is going to be earlier in his incarnation. So he'll have a life that's a little bit simpler. So maybe he'll need to learn a simpler lesson compared to an older soul who then needs to maybe learn more difficult lessons, and so then ends up having a more complex life as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
And
Interesting. I would
so
say both of us have a very complex life. So would that means that we're older souls just because the life put like harder lessons in front of
yeah,
us?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's your soul that is pushing you. You decide prior to the incarnation the
Mm-hmm.
lessons that you want to learn in the incarnation. So not only
Okay.
do you choose your sign prior to incarnating, but you also choose a lesson that you want to learn. And so, in order to learn that lesson, if it's a lesson that is harder to learn, it's going to force you in this incarnation through relationships or through your life in whatever way to learn that specific lesson. And so, for example, younger soul may need to learn how to pay bills, may need to learn
Yeah.
what it feels like to have a family, to create a family, may need to learn a simpler lesson compared to an older soul that may need to learn a lesson like patience, for example, or jealousy, or something that is harder to learn compared to a younger soul. And so it's going to create circumstances. You might end up in dysfunctional family, also because your soul is trying to learn that lesson through maybe conflict in the childhood, or conflict in the relationships, where you choose a relationship that forces you to learn the lesson of jealousy.
Okay.
And so that's why your life may have been more difficult than others. And you may be traveling to different places in the world, and it's forcing you to go within yourself and to truly learn who Teresa is, because Teresa isn't the body. The body is a vessel for you to learn the
Yeah.
lessons. Teresa isn't the mind. Teresa is the soul, which is here to learn lessons. It's pretty much it. So life is always going to be in constant motion, and it's going to always put you into situations where you're just going to have to be patient, and you're going to have to always find that balance and know that there's a reason behind every struggle that you go through.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like how you put it this way. It makes things easier in life.
Yeah.
Always remember that I'm older, so if life puts like very hard lessons in front of me,
Yeah, exactly.
it's what I asked for. So yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what you chose. That's the funny thing, is that you chose your family. You chose
Mhm.
your relationship. You chose everything that's important. You chose. And then you have free choice. So you have the free will to do as you want, because that's the whole, that's part of the plan, the role, let's just say, is
Mhm.
to you to choose then what you want to do, if you want to continue your journey that you chose or to change the journey. But if you choose, you know that you'll be on the journey that you chose when you feel happiness, when you feel joy,
Feel-
when you feel excitement, when you feel as if this is really what I want to do.
Yeah.
And you'll know when
Interesting.
you're moving on the side in a different journey, when you feel tired and you feel stressed out and you don't feel joy anymore, because you know that that's
Mhm.
not really why you're here and that's not what you're meant to do.
Very nice. Very nicely said.
Yeah.
Well, definitely feel joyful right now. So I guess I'm on the right path in seeing a lot of
Yeah.
synchronicities and like the same numbers and stuff. So
Yeah.
that means things too.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
yeah, if you feel joy right now and you feel happiness, and
Hmm.
it all has to be authentic. Like you really have to feel it within you. Like when
Yeah.
you are with yourself and you really feel like this is the right path for you, that you feel like you're going through the path that you're supposed to, you'll feel it within yourself. And then you won't worry of what's going to happen because you know that you're on the
Yeah.
journey, and eventually you'll then realize why you needed to be in a certain situation or why you needed to be
Yeah.
in a certain relationship,
Yeah.
because you would have learned the lesson to then continue on with your path.
Interesting. I would say I've just learned a lesson about letting it go and believing that this is all happening for a reason. It was very hard for me to like believe in some stuff or just move on with my life when hard things are happening. But now, even though I'm still in a hard situation, it kind of feels like I've learned the lesson about that everything happens for a reason and there is nothing else than this moment, and the only thing I can be is just be happy with everything that I have and feel more higher frequency feelings like gratefulness for the things that I already have in life, not for the things that I don't have, or or um, or just accepting that I'm not in control of anything. And
That's really
yeah,
good.
yeah,
That's really good. It means that you're putting so much, you're developing who you really are. You're putting so much self-development within you, which is
mm-hmm.
great, because so many people, they don't even have the awareness. They're not ready to put all this time into learning about themselves. And
Yeah,
so it's great that you have that capacity. And
definitely feels good. I'm just afraid not to lose this feeling, but there's nothing to be afraid of if I just continue
and if you
reminding myself
fall,
with,
I mean, if you fall and
yeah,
you end up,
that's also for a reason.
it's okay as well. It's part of the journey. It means,
Yes, that's right.
you know, like everybody can go down to the lower vibrational energy of all their signs. And
Yeah.
um it's just an awareness of reminding yourself that
Mm-hmm.
you have to just keep reminding yourself to go back up. It's almost as if when you
Mm-hmm.
meditate, you start
Mm-hmm.
seeing your thoughts and you start
Mm-hmm.
analyzing, and you can then decide which thoughts you want to hold on to and which ones you want to take out.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it's constant self-awareness, but it's
Yeah.
the only way to truly be free, to truly be free from your mind and be free from suffering, because
Mm-hmm.
it's also part of the journey to suffer.
Yeah. It is. But you can free yourself from it
Yeah,
with
it takes time
it takes, yeah, it takes a long time.
and
It takes a long
patience,
time. And many lessons.
many lessons.
many lessons.
But you know what?
Up to
Eventually,
that point.
it'll all go back to the one creator, the one source, or
Of
whatever you want to
course.
define
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I agree.
So,
Definitely.
you know, you just have to be also patient with the people around you. You have to
Mm-hmm.
understand that they may not see what you see.
Yeah.
Like they may not
Yeah.
be where you are. So
Mm.
it's almost as if like you go like this and then everybody's here. And then you have to start just being more in acceptance of where they are in their journey and just understand that you're up here. And so if you're up here, they won't be able to see what you see.
Yeah.
And this is
Interesting.
especially for your parents or family in general. If you have a struggle with them, it's because the older generations also are less spiritual. They're not able to understand these conversations. They can't understand. They're more skeptic. They don't believe in this, and so they don't
Just
go
younger
truly
soul.
within. Younger souls.
Yeah. Just
Um,
younger souls.
they're just younger souls. And so
Yeah.
you can do that in regards to anybody that you meet. You can just try and see them. Do they look like younger souls? How do they act? Are they flashing money? Are they um are they always angry? Are they always um just you can
Mm.
just feel their
In a
energy
lower vibration.
in
Yeah.
a lower vibration. And you can just say, I understand them. I can be there for them, but I want to be the good energy. I want to be that influence of good energy.
Mm.
Um, because there's also the whole service to self and service to others, which is through this journey, there will be certain people that will choose service to self, which is most of their life will be based off of themselves. And then there will be those who choose service to others, which is wanting to help others. It is a
Mm.
choice that you make. And so that path moves you in two different directions. And you can definitely tell that by the intentions around every action that you do. So
Yeah.
your intentions are for yourself, then you're choosing more path of service to yourself. If your intentions are wanting to help the world or truly wanting to give to the world, then your intentions will be more towards helping others of yeah. And so you can
Interesting.
understand that as well in the relationships and the dynamics that you see. And so
Yeah. That's true.
it has helped me so much.
Nice. Is there anything more about my chart?
um So, as I mentioned, you don't have any energy in the family space.
Mm.
You don't have any energy in regards to having kids. So, it doesn't mean that you don't want to have them. It just
Yeah.
means that a relationship will bring you that energy. A relationship that you feel love will bring that
Mm.
energy to you. It's not something that comes within you. It's not like when you're
Okay.
born, you have this motherly way of being that you
Yeah.
just want to have a child.
Yeah. That's that's kind of weird, but I understand because all my friends were always telling me that I'm acting like a mother in a just in a group, whatever. I'm the one who's always taking care of everyone, getting drunk, I'm picking them up, taking care, everything is okay, organizing parties, blah blah blah. Doesn't matter.
Well, you're
Always
also
the
the
peaceful
Virgo.
one. Yeah, very much. But then most of my life I kind of didn't want kids. But let's say
Wait,
in the
you
past
didn't or
year or
you did?
two, I didn't.
You
I
didn't.
didn't. I was thinking it was just I don't know what I was thinking about it. I was thinking it would be unnecessary or something. I was thinking actually when I was younger that there is enough like homeless children in the world that there is no need of bringing one more
Mm,
of mine
okay.
into this world. But then it kind of changes in the past year or two.
Okay.
I would say now it's really intense for some reason to like have kids on.
To have
I
kids.
kind of changed my views. Yeah, I kind of changed my views about that thing. Yeah.
It could be the fact that your past relationship brought that energy.
Mm-hmm.
So when you feel that love towards a person, it brings that energy of motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Could be.
it because if you look at your chart, it really doesn't have any energy to have to be. It doesn't mean that you it just doesn't have that motherly energy. It has that
Let
Virgo
me put the
energy,
lights
which
on.
is what?
Sorry to do. Let me just put the lights on because it's getting dark.
It's okay.
I'm back.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have that motherly sort of, you're a Virgo, so the Virgo is going to be the one that's taking care of others, especially if you're in a group of other fire signs or air signs, or they're just going to be all over the place, and you'll like be the one who's like taking care of everybody. You're going to be like the grounded one.
That's completely true. My best friends were like air signs and
What
fiery
were they?
signs. I was the one, a Sagittarius and Libra.
Yeah.
And I was just taking care of them all the time.
Yeah,
Of
you're gonna like,
everything.
yeah, in that way you'd be the mother,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly because of that energy. I don't
Okay.
think that you might have a moment in which you're gonna feel like you want to have children, but it's not something that's it's not part of your purpose. It's not part of your intention to be here to take care of a child.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna fulfill you.
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna fulfill you, as I mentioned, is finding your purpose through spirituality, through the traveling that you do, everything that you take from that. It's not going to
Interesting.
be by creating a family. It's just when you have that family, you're still not going to be fulfilled.
Yeah, I understand.
And so
Interesting.
there's that, and then there's no, to be honest, you don't really want to be like one of those people who works in a place. You don't want to be like, how do you say, like where you're part of a company and you have to be at work at a precise time and you have to have a schedule around, you have to be there. You kind of
Yeah.
want to be a little bit more free in that way. You don't have that energy in the workspace, let's just say. Your job
Yeah.
is going to be something that you're passionate about, that is going to be unique. It's going to be different from, working in a company or working for an office. Usual stuff, let's just say.
Yeah. Definitely don't feel like that. 9 to 5 job. No.
Exactly. It's just not
Big
you.
no.
No. Relationships, you have no energy. So it doesn't mean that you don't want a relationship. It just means that if you don't find the right person, you're not going to jump from one relationship to the other. So a lot of people, when they have energy in the 7th house, which is relationships or marriage, they just constantly jump from one relationship to the other. So it's like you kind of see it maybe with your friends that just like they broke up and then a week after there was somebody else. And then a week after it's like this jumping. For you, it's like you also like your independence. I mean, if you
I feel
find
like
the right person, then you'll
learned
keep
that.
going.
I feel like I've just learned that I was jumping before from relationship to relationship when I was younger. But I've just learned that I love my independence and I always like to be independent, but I've just learned how to enjoy being by myself. Let's say it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. I think I see, I don't know, I feel like you're far more there than most young people that I know. I feel like you'd be a great
Kind of
representation.
unfortunately.
What?
Kind of unfortunately, because it's very hard for me to connect with people now.
Now that you're up here, you're saying.
Let's say, yeah. I feel I did a lot of work on myself, and in the same time I didn't have an easy life. I really had a hard life, and after all this work I just don't wanna lose myself again. Let's say I just found myself and I'm holding onto it like for the dear life, I'm just holding onto it and just want to go more up, more up, more up. There's no more going down. So it's very hard for me to have basic conversations or just connect with people on a basic level, you know what I mean?
I do.
Just day by day and having random conversations. It just
And
doesn't fulfill me anymore.
and that's why I think it's extremely important that we also put this out here, put this out there. We post
Yeah.
this and we share it with the world to then allow other peoples like us to feel as
Yeah,
if they can relate to it and they
of
can
course.
also not feel alone, not
Yeah,
feel as if, like
but it's
they've
very
always felt
important.
different maybe and they don't know why. And so by doing this, we can start creating a community of younger people like us who are doing that work and of understanding more who they are. And so that's why I
Yeah,
love
very nice of
the
you.
idea.
Yeah, very nice. Amazing. Love it.
Yeah,
Fully supporting it.
good. I'm so happy.
Me
Um,
too.
so you don't have any relationship energy. You don't have any work sort of needs to be 9 to 5 type of energy. Um, kids, no. Family, no. Um, what else? Um, yeah, it's also wanting to communicate to a greater audience what you will be learning. So you have
Mhm.
Mercury, which is the planet of intellect, and it's in the 11th house, which is which is greater the audience, like for example, community or just expanding what you've learned to a greater audience. And so when you have that placement there, it just means that once you figured out what you love and what you've learned through all your experiences of traveling and learning about yourself and of spiritual learnings, then you'll want to share it with the world.
Mhm.
And so you're
Interesting.
going to do that with Libra energy. So Libra is an air sign. So it's going to be talky, it's going to be communication. So it's going to
Talking,
be
talking.
talky, yeah. Libra is
Yeah.
like air signs in general, like the most social energies.
Mhm.
So Gemini,
Interesting.
Libra, and Aquarius are going to be constantly like talky, social. Um, and you do have Mercury in Libra, and then um, you have a couple placements in air as well. So it's
Yeah.
mostly, I would say there's a bit of fire, air, and then there's the Virgo sun, which is the most important energy, but it's a pretty dominant one since it's the sun. But it's the only you have only that place and another. You only have two placements in Earth.
In Earth. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So it's mostly fiery energy.
it's
And then
fire
area.
and airy.
Mhm.
Um, also Mars. But yeah, it's a really nice chart. It really is. Like it's it doesn't have too much conflict. It's
Mhm.
just I think it's more of just teaching you lessons. It's putting you where you are now. All that you've been through is to put you where you are now.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly it because the chart, if you really look at it, it doesn't have too much conflict. It's a pretty gentle, light chart, let's just say.
Mhm. Gentle light shine.
Yeah.
What that means that is having placements like everywhere, or that is not like focused on one house, or
It's mostly
how would you describe it?
it's mostly focused on the you have a couple placements on the bottom, but it's mostly focused on the top part, which means outward. It's an outward
Okay.
energy, which means you want to bring it outward, then go inward.
Mhm.
Um, so that's why, as I mentioned, it's going to probably force you eventually to help others by teaching them something.
Mhm.
It's going to be you're not going to become somebody who's like like maybe some software engineer on the computer in Word. or like reading books, PhD. It's going to be outward, which is expansion, which is how can I teach a greater audience all that I've learned.
Interesting. Yeah, that's kind of my plan. I'm still trying to figure it out, but in general, let's say, I'm having a couple of ideas of like starting YouTube channel or just talking about my experience, because I still can't preach, let's say, that in that way. I can't preach because I'm not that experienced. Because I'm not that experienced yet. I don't feel I have the knowledge in, let's say, language, or like I still have to work on myself to be able to spread the message how I want it.
Yeah.
I still know I need to like improve my English, maybe learn some other language, you know, read some more books about spirituality and everything that I've experienced. But by now I feel like I want to talk about my experience, just my life in general, and what kind of lessons learned me what, and what kind of like that. I don't know how to describe it better.
Yeah, I think
Still need to put it down on the paper.
I think it's important that you still try and put yourself out there. Just try. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Even just sharing your journey, whatever it is, your struggles. There's so many people that would connect with it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I look at YouTube, and most of the things I see on YouTube, I can't connect with.
Yeah.
I don't find authenticity. I don't find genuinity. It's like you said, it's like that communication that after a while that you just get tired of because you want something deeper.
Yeah, I understand.
You want to connect. And so if you're truly authentic, then if you bring yourself out there, then you'll have a community of people who really are seeking that like us.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that is very important. Yeah, I'm still learning how to fully express myself to bring that authenticity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there is still fear behind it. There is still insecurities. There is still, you know, work that I need to do to be able to be in a position to preach, let's say. I don't want to say preaching. It sounds stupid. It sounds like I'm trying to teach someone lesson, but I kind of do. You know, like just teach people around what I've learned and what I've been through. And I don't know.
I think it's true if you don't feel 100% confident just yet, but to be honest, I don't think you're ever going to feel 100% confident until you throw yourself out there. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just not going to happen. You have to try, because it's always just going to be an excuse. It's going to be, I'm not ready enough. I'm not confident enough. I'm not this, I'm not that. It's just constantly finding reasons to not do it. When in reality, that's probably what people are looking for, is also that journey where you're truly authentic and you don't know everything. You're just teaching them what you are learning while you're going through that journey.
Yeah. Nice. I agree. It's always mine trying to find excuses not to start something.
Trust me, I'm the same way. My mind just constantly goes, I can't do it.
But you're starting your journey.
What?
But you're starting your journey. You're making, you're analyzing charts. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm fully supporting it.
It's not easy when I'm 24, so it's not easy when you're such a young age, and they're far more experienced. But I do realize that I think I can still be of service in some way. I can still, I think my intuition can really connect with younger people and maybe just help them out in understanding them.
Of course. I would say you were way more mature than 24-year-old, and by everything you've learned and everything you know, you can definitely help people, you know. And if that's something that you feel like you want to do, then there is no excuses. Like you told me, just do it. Just put it out there, you know. And you never know. It's like a snowball. It's just gonna start rolling, I guess. You know.
I hope so. I think I think this is my calling. I don't know just yet, but
Amazing.
it is.
Amazing. That
And
sounds
so
nice.
if I can just
What's your star sign?
Pisces. I'm on the Pisces
Pisces.
Aquarius cusp.
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend too. That's very interesting.
Okay. Okay.
20th of February.
20th of February.
That your date too? No?
20th.
That's his, yeah, 20th. That's his birthday.
My birthday as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I
Nice.
probably understand your boyfriend quite a bit.
How is that Aquarius energy changing the Pisces? That's what I'm interested
It's
in.
great because
Yeah.
if it was just Pisces, it would be extreme. It would be too emotional. I would struggle
Yeah.
to get out of my emotions. But that air
Aquarius
side,
is not.
the Aquarius is unconventional. It's social. It's more relaxed. It's more detached. It's and so that Aquarius side helps me to come out of my emotions. It gives me
Interesting.
a little bit more of air of a moment to breathe and say, no,
Mhm.
don't be so trapped into all the energies of the world and the emotions of the world. And so it actually is helpful.
Yeah.
So that would actually help your, you know, your ex-boyfriend.
Mm.
But as I mentioned, it's, you know, it depends on where his level of consciousness is. And your intuition can tell you where that is.
Yeah. Interesting. Feel we need to have a lot more conversation, maybe start a podcast.
Let's do it. I'm here.
And put it out there.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Just record
gonna put
conversations,
this
you
one
know?
out there.
Yeah.
And just it's my first reading actually, so I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
But I'm just gonna slowly start, you know, practicing and, you know, and just get better and better because obviously, you know, it's the first time. But I think I'm
Amazing.
I'm on the track of what I want to do.
You did a good job. Very nice.
Anything else? Can I help you in anything else? Or
I actually have a question about midheaven. I believe my midheaven is in Virgo, but what does that mean? What does midheaven represent? What is it about?
your midheaven is Virgo. Yeah. I actually don't know that question, so I'll look
That's
into
all
it
right.
for you.
We'll see you next
I'll
time.
send you a message and I'll let you know because I didn't know that actually. But it is in
Okay.
Virgo.
Sure, let's do it next time. Nice. I'm very happy with the reading.
Okay. I appreciate it. Okay, so I recorded this, so you'll have it. And
Nice.
it was an hour and 21 minutes, so perfect. And so then I'll probably post it on YouTube. I'll probably cut it a little bit, cut the dead ends, stuff like that, edit it. And so you're okay with me posting it on YouTube if I send it to you and then you look at it and then you just tell me.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
put it out there.
All right.
So nice.
Nice
Amazing. So proud of you. Nice to talk to you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.